Hi guys. It's that time of the night again, and I get to sit here and then do a lot of the analysis for you. And look into a lot of the things that you have to look for, trying to provide you the best of footballing content here on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. My name is Fiifi-Manfred. It has been an amazing time having you here, guys. There's a lot to unpack for you. There's a lot. Today we have a lot of conversation about data and where some teams are with respect to the kind of data that they are churning out in the league. What does the data presuppose? Where is it leading these teams to? Do you have justifiable reasons to believe that these teams are heading the right way? My name is Fiifi-Manfred. I do this for a living, and I'm grateful for your support. If you've not subscribed to the channel, guys, do what subscribe to the channel. If you've not turned on your notification, even if after you've subscribed to the channel, do what to turn on your notification and do choose all in there. So immediately a video drops, you are the first to get it. My name is Fiifi-Manfred. This is Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. But you see, data is very important, especially in the modern game. Especially as an analyst, usually you would watch a game and you watch it from the eye test perspective. You watch players, teams with your eyes, and you say, okay, they play with this pattern, with this structure, and what's not. But essentially, you'd want to put some flesh or meat to what you've seen, because sometimes you want something that is more tangible, something that you can hold and say, that went like that, this went like that, that went like that. And it's important, especially in the modern game with respect to data. So in this analysis, I try to peruse the data of where Chelsea essentially are. Where are Chelsea with respect to the data? Where are they in terms of XG, XGs per teams? Where are they in terms of the number of games that they've won or lost an XG? Where are they in terms of the X points, the points that per XG? How would that have translated into points? Where would they have been on that table? Where are Chelsea in that regard? Where is Nicholas Jackson? Where are Chelsea's midfielders in terms of distance covered, and then the whole team in terms of distance covered, and then pressures per game? It's important. Very, very important. So, guys, my name is Fiifi-Manfred. This is Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. I'll see you in the next second whilst we delve into the data of Chelsea Football Club and where they are in terms of XG. Yeah, so you're back. Thank you for sticking and staying with us. Once again, my name is Fiifi-Manfred. This is Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. If you're not subscribed to the channel, do what subscribe to the channel. I'd want to hear from you in the comment section, whatever that you have in there to put across, whether it's a criticism or whatnot. Do what to put it across. I would like to hear from you. My name again is Fiifi-Manfred. This is Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. But let's get straight into the conversation today. Now, straight up, when Todd Boehly and Baghdad Boehly bought the club, Chelsea Football Club, it was about how they could build a model club in Europe. And in this club, especially for they as Americans, one of the things that they found absent at Cuba when they went there was data sharing or information sharing. Now, if you work in any organization, data is very important, especially in the modern day, not just in football, not just in high performance sports. Data is very, very important. Now, when they came to Chelsea Football Club, they felt that the conversation about data was very minimal. People having conversations based on what they see, which really isn't empirical evidence. You want empirical evidence. You want evidence that you can put your hand to, evidence that you can hold and say, this, that makes sense, and that doesn't make sense, and that we need to look at all of these things, which is important. So they made sure that they put together a data system, even with respect to injuries, which is, it affects their transfer strategy. It affects everything that they want to do at Chelsea Football Club. So when the season started, Mauricio Pochettino and his team particularly weren't playing so well, people began to ask questions. Is it going to be the old hire and fire under Roman Abramovich, or they are just going to have some time for them? But if they're going to have time for them, what is it going to be based on? I personally do think that Thomas Tuchel is one of the best managers that I think I've worked at Chelsea. But his quote-unquote demise as manager at Chelsea was because he is somebody that the data doesn't back with respect to the job that he has done in terms of managing of young teams. So if you look at data, then it's okay, now Mauricio Pochettino is the best guy to handle a young team to the next level, and not Thomas Tuchel at the time. Whilst Thomas Tuchel is probably generally a better tactician than Mauricio Pochettino, you understand? So that's the importance of data. So that's the importance of data. It's able to help you find the little details, the minutest of details between issues that sometimes prove to be very, very controversial in the modern game. So you'd want to know what's going on in that regard. So yeah, that's the thing. Now, results begin to plummet. It began to plummet when Mauricio Pochettino did come into the season, where Chelsea weren't getting the results that they thought that they were supposed to get. They go into games against teams like West Ham United, against Nottingham Forest, and then they drop points. And people say, hey, maybe the team is not good enough. But you go and you look at the data and you say, okay, wow, great. Which part of the data set suggests that things are going well? Which part of the data set that suggests that things are not going well? If things are not going well, how do we juxtapose the two? When you juxtapose the two, then you make a proper conclusion of where you think the team is in that regard, which is very important. And these things are done a lot in modern day high performance stuff. And I think that in the modern day now, one of the things and the best metrics to judge a team and their progress is XG. So XG essentially it's about judging the quality of chances that teams create. And one of the things about football is that if you're not playing well enough, you most likely will not be able to create quality chances, especially when it has to be done consistently. So if you look at, say, a team like Everton and Sean Dyche, they may not create the best XGs, but they will convert them. So there are also two different things. There may be the actual stuff, which is the points that you're supposed to have, and then the XG, which is more like what you should have gotten, what that should have translated into, the chances you created should have translated into. And you don't get that. So first of all, Chelsea are one of the best teams in XG. In terms of XG points, Chelsea are actually supposed to be fifth. Teams like Newcastle, and of course, if you look at Newcastle, you're looking at the kind of game where Newcastle played in the English Premier League, where they scored more than 5 goals, more than 4 goals. And that's what even shot up their XG. In terms of XG, Chelsea are one of the best performing sides in the English Premier League. So if anybody comes and says that, okay, yeah, so Chelsea are probably doing well because they're performing well with respect to XG, it makes sense. It makes a lot of sense because the data sets there suggest that they are doing well. And XG is very, very important. So you look at all of those games that Chelsea played and they create quality chances. But you pick XG that Chelsea have had, about 19.07 or so. Then you compare that to the XG of Nicholas Jackson. Jackson has played 10 games. He has scored about 5 of them. He is scoring once every 335 minutes. Which is not good enough for a striker in a club like Chelsea. Yes, on the eye test, you can look at the game and say, okay, he adds a little bit more than just goals. He's a good holder player. He's a good link-up player. He's able to lead the press very well as a striker, and he helps in that regard. Excellent. But it means that one of Chelsea's biggest issues this season is not chance creation. Per the XGs, it means that Chelsea are able to create some of the quality chances in the English Premier League. Because they are supposed to be fit on XG points, then that's what it means. Now, it comes down to the conversion of the XG and then retention of balls in the box because if you compare Erling Braut Haaland's XG to Nicolas Jackson, it is not wide apart. They're almost on the same XG. But Haaland is able to convert his chances, even if they are half chances, to goals, whilst Nicolas Jackson is one of the players in the top 5 most missed big chances in the English Premier League. So that's the difference. Jackson gets the big chances and fluffs them because maybe he's jittery. Maybe ball retention in the box or composure isn't there. Maybe he gets into the box and the pressure at Chelsea is taking a toll of him. Maybe because the team is chasing a game, now he's forced to do things and he lacks confidence. All of these things may be factors that may allude to some of these things. So it's very, very much important. So, and that's where Chelsea are. So generally the team are doing good, but conversion from the striker's point of view is a big deal. And it goes back to what some people like us have said, that there is really the need to go into January and get a killer. And when I say a killer, I'm talking about those strikers with killer instincts in the box. You just cannot want to get top 4 or qualify for the Champions League without a killer. You need to get a killer. You need to get somebody that's aggressive, that has that killer instinct to slot a dagger into a team when he gets the chance. It is 1 out of 1. Victor Osimhen, Erling Braut Haaland, Harry Kane, Karim Mustafa Benzema. These are the guys that have been killers. Robert Lewandowski, killers. They will get a job done. So that's the disparity, and it's the reason why in January Chelsea are very, 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 very much keen on getting an A-lister striker. Victor Osimhen, Ivan Toney, these are names that have come in. But they will look at the data set. They will look at who fits the Chelsea way of play with respect to the kind of players that are there now. and then they will buy a striker to fit that. I trust Wayne Stanley and then especially Joe Shields to get that job done. So that's with SG. Now, if you look at things like one of the metrics that I've seen this season that has shocked me is the distance covered by teams. So if you know Mauricio Pochettino and if you know Pochettino's teams, you know that one of the things that he does best is pressing and then distance covered. At Southampton, in the seasons that he was there, his teams were always in top 2 in terms of distance covered. At Tottenham Hotspur, top 3 on average distance covered. But this season, teams like Burnley have covered more distance than Chelsea. Aston Villa, who are in the bottom part of the league, Brentford have covered more distance than Chelsea. And I was shocked. But I look at that data set and I go back and I say, okay, great. Well, whilst these guys have covered more distance than Chelsea, I'm looking at Chelsea's dynamics of the season. First of all, you look at things like the kind of injuries that Chelsea have had this season has probably made Mauricio Pochettino drop his line a bit in terms of his press. Now, Conor Gallagher leads Chelsea's most covered distance as players in the club. And he's even 8th in the English Premier League. So it tells you a lot more players have covered more distance than him. Team-wise, Chelsea haven't covered the most distance. And you expect that they do more or they do better with respect to covering of distance in games. Because that is Mauricio Pochettino's stock in trade. That's exactly what he does. So it's a little bit not unsettling. It's just a statistic that I see and I'm like, oh, really? But that's where Chelsea, and I think that's going to be in the next level of Chelsea's development, where Mauricio Pochettino has to make sure that he recovers the full squad and then gets them firing. Because if they're pressing very high and choking opponents, they're pressing them very high and wide, being aggressive with them, then it helps. You win the ball up top in deeper areas and you're able to transit and create scoring chances from them. It is the same for a lot of the teams in the English Premier League. Most teams actually have very high distance covered because they want to press. Because they really, 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 really want to press. Chelsea are 17th in terms of distance covered, which is not the best. You would want to cover distances. You'd want to do more in terms of covering distances in that regard. You'd want to cover the best time. You want to press. You want to counter press. You'd want to be in the faces of the opponent. It's very important. And I think these things are the next level, especially when you're going to play Manchester City on Sunday. They are next level when it comes to some of these things. Conor Gallagher has been brilliant. Like I did mention, he has covered the most distance for Chelsea players, and he's 8th most goals scored by forwards. Chelsea are also up there. So whilst Nicolas Jackson has been struggling, last season, if you compare the number of goals that were scored by forwards, last 2 seasons ago, Chelsea's highest goal scorer was Jorginho. Not good enough. Last season, I don't remember if it was an attacker, like likes of Kai Havertz having least number of goals for Chelsea Football Club. Now, this season, attackers combined are scoring more goals. Jackson scored his first hat-trick. Sterling tends to be scoring. For Sterling, however, in Europe's top 5 leagues, Raheem Sterling is the one that has gotten into the box the most in terms of 5th position. He is 5th, getting possession or having the ball in the opponent's box the most. It means that Chelsea are getting Raheem Sterling to very good positions. They are creating quality chances for him. But his conversion rate is also very low. So Raheem Sterling again has to up his game. He has to up his game because he takes 300,000 quid a week. And it's important as an experienced player, the conversion rate has to be very good for him. I know that Mauricio Pochettino is brilliant at getting the best out of players. And he has been doing a good job with Raheem Sterling. But it is high time Sterling even did more for the club and for the team. Because the statistics do show, the data that shows that he gets into the best positions in the box and gets into in possession. Now, what does he make of this possession? What does this possession lead to? Because they don't seem to be leading to a lot of goals for him, Raheem Sterling. Mihailo Modric, yes, gotten a few goals, about 2 goals in English Premier League. Cole Palmer, there. Same for Nicolas Jackson. Nicolas Jackson actually leads the non-penalty XG. And then non-penalty, yeah. So it's important. If you have a team like that and you want to go, these are the data sets that prove where Chelsea are in terms of the English Premier League, and then of course this season wherever they are as a team. It's very, very important. It's very important, especially for XG and then the conversion of the XG. going forward, it's something that Mauricio Pochettino really needs to check. Because if you have good XG and are not converting them, then you look at your strikers. I know verbatim, I know for sure that in January, Chelsea are going to try and get in a striker. And I keep on using a word and I say world-class striker. Who is a world-class striker? In my opinion, it's supposed to be a killer. So Chelsea want to go and get a striker who can get a job done for them. And January is just around the corner. But you're doing some good job in terms of XG. Doing some good job in terms of the chance created. XG against Chelsea are doing some good job over there. Distance covered by players good, but as a team not good enough. It means that the general press isn't good enough, and then the line has dropped a little bit deeper. Mauricio Pochettino has to push very high and wide this time and make sure that he wins balls and counter press teams a lot and then transit forward. It's important. Very, very important. So yeah, I mean, these are the statistics and where Chelsea are with respect to the team and where they are with respect to their season, like I did mention earlier. I mean, this is where time will permit me to stop. I have a big analysis, guys, on the Manchester City game. That game, we'll use the tactical board here. So everything I see isn't just going to be alien or imaginary. Whilst you get the graphics, you get to see the tactical board over here displayed here, and then you see exactly what I mean and what the players' actions are supposed to be on the field of play. My name is Fiifi-Manfred. This is Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. I'm very, very grateful to have had you here. Guys, if you've not subscribed to the channel, do well to subscribe to the channel. Do well subscribe to the channel. And then do turn on notification. Do turn on notification, subscribe to the channel. My name still remains Fiifi-Manfred. This is Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. I'm glad to have had you here. See you. Bye.